So, Donald Trump got the Rona. Oh shit. Like, I'm kind of like, okay, president's sick. Like, dude, it's the president of the United States of America. First of all. Yes, he's old. Yeah, he's overweight. But, dude has been president for 4 years and has shown none of the traditional signs. I just want you to take that into consideration. He hasn't lost any hair. His hair hasn't turned fucking white yet. Like, you know what I mean? The stress has not really even gotten to him. This is a man that if he just sits for a couple of days in a room, just the energy that is going to build up in him will be enough to incinerate continents. Like, I ain't worried about the president. Plus, he's the president. He has every doctor in the United States right now concerned for him. That's something. Like, and he has the best doctors in the country and the world at his disposal to fucking figure out what to do. We've come a long way this year. We've gotten therapeutics now. He's probably taken fucking the hydrochloric and injecting bleach directly into his arm, so he'll be fine, right? He's doing all this stuff that the president has told everybody else to do. He's injecting bleach. He's drinking fish tank cleaner. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. So I'm not worried about the president. Like, I'm really not worried about the president. Like, everybody's kind of worried about the president. And I'm like, dude, here's what I think is going to happen. The president is going to take the weekend off. Because it's Friday. He found out Friday early morning, like 1 a.m. or whatever, he finds out he's got the Rona. Right? And so they probably said, well, looks like you're going to have to go home and go to bed, Mr. President. And he was probably like, but I got a rally. It's like, sir, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I got a rally. And so they were probably like, no, you got to go home, go to bed, you're sick. And he went, I got a rally. And they probably went, sir, go home, go to bed. And he went, oh. And then went and go to bed at home, went to the residence, you know, with his wife. He's sequestered with his wife. That, like, of all the things, like, the misogynist in me feels bad for Donald Trump. That he's not only sick, but has to hang out with his wife now for as long as he's going to be sick. Because they're both sick together. So they're just quarantined together in the residence. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be some spicy shit. Like, that's going to be the book that I want to read. The fucking maid. Yeah, what it was like to be a maid in the Trump White House. Like, that would be the book that I would read, because that would be the one that I would be like, that's probably most real. Just some fucking maid that's like, oh my god, this shit that I heard through the door, you know. Fuck you, Donald. I'm tired of seeing your face, Donald. It's been 5 days. I want to go outside. I want to go back to work. Oh my god. But again, that's just the misogynist in me. But yeah, my thought is that he'll be like, alright, fine, I'll take the weekend off. And then he'll just hang out with Melania for, you know, Saturday, Sunday. Have all that sick people sex, you know, that sick couples have. You guys don't do that? That's weird. Most girls I date don't like to do that either. It's fucking weird. Anyways. So, you know, they'll do all that shit. And then Monday, Donald Trump will get up and he'll put on his fucking suit and he'll go to work. And they're going to be like, you can't be here. You're quarantined. He'll be like, oh, I was going to go to work. I'm wearing my mask. And they'll be like, no, get back and what are you doing? And then that shit's going to leak, right? And then Nancy Pelosi's going to be like, Donald Trump is trying to poison the entirety of the White House staff. He's trying to cripple our government by just taking down the whole fucking White House. Right? And it's going to be this big thing. And she's going to, you know, start talking about maybe we impeach him for that. And then Sorry, I didn't mean for that. And then Donald Trump is going to be like, look, I want to go to work. I feel fine. I feel fine. I'm wearing my mask. Everybody yells at me about wearing my mask. I'm wearing my mask. And they always said that masks were so that you protect everybody else. I know that I'm sick. Everybody's staying 6 feet away from me because that's protocol around here now. And now I'm wearing my mask everywhere. You guys should be happy. I'm not just. I'm the president. I'm not just going to sit in my basement. What I look like, Joe Biden? And then that's going to be like the quote. That shit's going to fucking hit. Oh my God. Biden's going to be fucking pissed. He's going to jump in with Nancy Pelosi and encourage her to impeach. Everybody's going to fucking go, what the fuck are you doing? Biden's going to be like, I don't know what I just say. I think somebody shit my pants. And then fucking that's going to be like, what? Somebody shit Biden's pants? Who would shit the vice president's pants? And then... I feel like I'm doing the aristocrats joke here. And then, like, dude, oh my God. So, you know, like, I think Monday is going to be an interesting day. It was weird to go the entire, like, work day and not hear any fresh, like, Donald Trump live speaking. Like, that was... Because usually every day at some point, I'm hearing the president live. Or, you know, a recorded thing that he did an hour ago or whatever that's being replayed that I just didn't hear because I was on my break. Or I wasn't on my break, I was working. You know, but, like, usually he's talking... Either when I'm on lunch, he's doing some address, or he's talking when I'm fucking going home, he's doing some sort of something, or the president spoke at 3 o'clock today about, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, that was a half an hour ago or whatever, and, you know, it was kind of odd to just hear day old Donald Trump clip. And they're like, oh, he was doing a speech the night before, and he said, we're almost at the end of the pandemic. And now he's got it. And I'm like, yeah, the president got sick. Like, how many people do you think the president comes within close proximity of on a daily basis? Like, he's got damn good odds. Like, it's a roll of the dice every time. If you're like me, and you get up, go to work with the same people every day, stay away from them all and wear a mask all day, and then you come home and you sit here and watch YouTube all night and then do videos and then play video games. Like, if that's what your life consists of, then you go to bed and then wash, rinse, and repeat. If that's what your life consists of, your odds are really good. You ain't even going to get it. I haven't gotten it yet. You know what I mean? So my record is still going. Donald Trump, he made it a long time. Like, honestly, I'm amazed he made it a long time. Boris Johnson got this shit months ago. He's already better. And Donald Trump just got it. I'm like... You know what I mean? Boris Johnson survived this shit months ago, and we're a couple of months away from a vaccine. I think he'll be fine. There's some sort of something they can give him that he'll probably be fine. So, you know, I ain't concerned about the president. What I am concerned about, somebody made a comment today. Right? Well, let me fucking refresh my memory on it so I don't make it weird. It was essentially somebody was like, you know, Tim Pool thought that Kyle shouldn't have even been there, and this person said they disagreed. Now, I disagree with this person, and here's why. It's dumb. It's not brave nor smart to go into a fight. It's dumb. Like, when you know it's gonna happen, like, it's dumb. You know what I mean? It's like trying to change the present by going into the past. It's kind of dumb. Sooner or later, you know, the flow of time comes right back around to where it's going. And, you know, I think that it's just dumb. Like, I think him going to do that was dumb. And I think people going into the armed forces is also dumb. You think brave? It's dumb. Like, that's my honest opinion. However, that is my opinion for other people. Everybody else, everybody in the world, myself included, everybody in the world, to go into a fight is dumb. Right? Now, if everybody had that philosophy, think about it. We wouldn't need a military. Because everybody would be like, why would I want to fight you? That's dumb. Right? Get it? Like, you get what I'm saying? It ain't brave or smart. It's dumb. You just go and fight each other. No, it's dumb. Everybody overseas that decides, let's go pick a fight with people. It's dumb. And everybody over here that goes, oh my God, they're picking fights with people. I'm going to go jump in that. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's not brave. It ain't smart. It's dumb. However, a buddy of mine owned a bar. Some of you might remember that. And I told him, I said, dude, if you ever need me, let me know. You know, because I'd done some light bouncing before in the past and stuff like that. I'm like, if you ever need me for anything, you know, I'm like, I know how to pour a beer too, you know. I'm like, if you ever need me for anything, let me know. You know, I'm like, I don't know how to make drinks. You can make drinks. I can pour the beers. You know, like whatever. And he's like, cool. Dude. He's like, I'll remember that. And I'm like, dude, you know. So I'm like, it's my word. And so one night, I'm sitting at home, and I get a phone call. And it's my dude, and I can barely fucking hear him because it's so goddamn loud in the bar. And I finally get, I need you to come down and help me bounce because this is getting ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. So I got dressed and I went to the bar to go and help him bounce. And I walk in, and I mean, it is not COVID safe. It is literally wall-to-wall people, shoulder to shoulder. I mean, it's crammed so full of people in there. And I make my way to him, and he's like, dude, if the fucking fire marshal comes in here, they're going to shut us the fuck down. I got to get people out of here. And I'm like, well, tell them to turn the fucking music off. And he's like, well, the party's going until, 10 or whatever. And he's like, they bought the space, And I'm like, did they tell you how many people it's going to be? Anyway, there was a conversation. So I get to work. I go bouncing. Now, I'm just there to stop fights. I'm not carding people. He's doing that because we're keeping this as absolutely official as humanly possible. So he's carding and everything. I'm just there to kind of watch and make sure fights don't get out of control. That's my job. My job is to get into fights. And there was a fight. And when everybody, opened up to make space for the fight, I got pushed up against the wall that I was standing in front of. And I could not, there was no fucking, I'm like, I gotta get through to that, I gotta stop that. And, the people that were in front of me looked at me like, okay. Because they're like, where are we gonna move to? We're just as crushed in as you are. You gotta talk to the people up front, and they ain't moving. And I'm like, so, I watched these two chicks fight for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then everybody kind of laughed and then jumped in. A couple of dudes grabbed them, broke them up. And then, music got turned off. My dude said everybody's got to get the fuck out. And then within 5 minutes, everybody was gone. I'm like, this is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. It was ridiculous to me. I've done a lot of bouncing. Like, I used to hang out at this bar, and they didn't have a bouncer. Like, why do we need a bouncer? It's just a bunch of drunk people. Why do we need a bouncer? So, they didn't have a bouncer. So, there was a bunch of us, like, maybe 5 or 6 of us, that hung out there all the time. And I mean, literally every night I was at that bar drinking. 7 days a week. Bad times. And we decided that, you know, we liked our bar. So we weren't going to let people fight in the bar. Because we liked having our bar. And, you know, and so every night when I went to that bar, I knew that most likely I was going into a fight. Now, I was younger both of those times. And it wasn't brave or smart to do any of that shit. It was dumb. However, I felt that I had a duty to keep my word to my friend. I told him, dude, you ever need me, let me know. And he said, I'll keep that in mind. And I said, do it. I meant it. So I gave him my word. I had a duty to keep that. Even though that duty took me into a situation that was dumb. It was neither brave nor smart. It was dumb. I went and got into fights, and it was dumb. And I felt that I had a duty that if shit went down and all my dudes went to go and put a stop to it, you know, I really don't like fights either. You know, I don't like people getting into fights. I like sanctioned fights. I like UFC and all that kind of stuff. But like bar fights, man, that shit gets nasty. I've seen some nasty bar fights. And it ain't good shit. Like, it just isn't. Every time it isn't good. I saw a dude fucking get taken away in an ambulance one night. Like, literally, we're all just having fun. Like, we're all just having a good time. And then, you know, me and my dudes, we're all in the back. And then we see lights out the front. So we all go out the front, like, what the fuck? And there's one of the guys that, like, hung there sometimes, but, like, we knew him, but we didn't really, like, he wasn't one of us. He wasn't part of, like, our group, but he kind of hung out with us from time to time. And you know, he's getting loaded into a fucking ambulance, and I'm like, what in the fuck happened? And what happened was, another guy that hung out with us, but wasn't really a part of the group, but he was hung out at the bar from time to time. We knew him, you know. They got into it. He punched him. That was it. He just clocked him. And that dude turned and fell and hit the curb with his head so hard that it cracked his skull. And it was really touch and go there for a while. Like, we were getting reports from people that, I mean, he was, they were wondering if he was ever going to wake up. They were wondering if he was going to just die one night. Like, I mean, it was just waiting to see what happens. And he woke up. He wasn't really ever the same again. It was sad. It was really sad. And why? You know, I mean, it was they were both drunk. Nobody even knows what it was over. And he just punched him because It wasn't brave. It wasn't smart. It was fucking dumb. And it sucks because I had a duty to make sure that shit didn't happen. But it wasn't like a fight broke out. The dude just punched the other guy. That was it. It just, there wasn't a fight. Like, so, you know, I take that shit hard, man. Like, fucking Dennis, my dude. My best friend in the entirety of the world. My dude for life. He was bouncing. He was actually bouncing. And I would go up there every weekend just to stand with him. And hang out with him. This is boring, just standing up there at the fucking table and just watching TV and then looking at people's IDs. Like, that sucks doing it all fucking night long. And then when fights happen, it's not like it gets cool then. It's you know, it sucks more then. Because then you actually have to work, you know. So I would go up there and just stand up there at the table with him, and I would drink, and we would watch sports and talk and just hang out while he was working. And the owner loved it because I hung out there all the time, and I put a lot of money into that fucking place. And he got a free bouncer. Because I would stop fights. In the bar, if I was there and a fight started, I would stop the shit. I was constantly jumping into fights. Because I liked the bar. And I had a duty to my dude. And one night, and this is a fucked up story because it's got a cop angle to it. But, yeah, there are bad cops. These couple of guys that were like fresh out of, you know, cop school. This is the police academy. They were in the bar. And, they were, you know, just hanging out, drinking. And then they drank too much. And then they turned into assholes. And they had to get kicked out. You know, Dennis got the point, and they had to go. So Dennis goes to work, and I'm just kind of standing. Like, the agreement is I'm reserve. I'm not really allowed to get involved. They have a bouncer. If I'm just a you know, just a you know, what do they even fucking call that? A good Samaritan. If I'm just a good Samaritan and two people get into a fight in a bar and there's no bouncer, well, I'm just helping, you know, make sure that there's no violence. But if there's a bouncer, you know, not really supposed to help. He's supposed to do his job. But I'm there. In case something happens, I'm a good Samaritan. You know, I'm going to help break it up. So, I'm just kind of there. Dennis rounds them all up. Ushers them all the fuck out the door, right? And I'm sitting there, you know, watching sports. Because this is not the first time this has happened. And this was not the last time this happened either. This is like, Dennis has kicked out large groups of people many fucking times from that bar. And I'm sitting there watching, and it's taken too long. I know it's just taken too long. So I move around the door and I look out the door, and there's Dennis sitting on the ground. Blocking. And so, I mean, I'm through the door like a fucking lightning bolt. Everybody sees me go out the door. Because, like, there's a lot of people that are regulars in that bar. And they had male bartenders. It was one of the few bars I knew that had male bartenders. They had a lot of girls too, but they had like two dudes. And so, you know, everybody took their cues from Dennis. Dennis was the bartender. He ran the safety of the bar. So he would point things out to the bartenders. You know, they had a system worked out. And part of the system was when Dennis goes outside, everybody kind of looks at me because I'm watching Dennis. So if I all of a sudden run through two doors at lightning speed, everybody else comes out after me because that means Dennis is in trouble. I get the guy off Dennis. Dennis starts to get up. Doors open up. Everybody's fucking out there. There's a huge, massive tussle. Immediately people start getting Dennis up. grabbing these fucking guys that are fighting. The owner of the bar comes out, and one of the dudes fucking sees him, knows he's the owner, so he goes after him. I'm kind of concerned with Dennis, you know, because the other dude goes after Dennis again. So I kind of, you know, shoved the one dude off, and then he went after the owner. I go after the other dude who's going after Dennis. Dennis goes, get the owner. And I go, God damn it, because now this dude's got the owner of the bar up against the fucking window of the bar. Now the owner is not allowed. He's like this, because he can't, he's like, I can't, what am I going to do? If this dude gets sued? He's the owner of the bar. He can't do anything. This guy fucking knows that. He's a cop in training. Well, he's a new cop. So he's got him by the fucking throat. And so I come up, and I'm trying to, like, hook under this dude's arms and, you know, break his grip off and just, you know, full Nelson his ass. It's usually my move. And he's not having it. And I'm trying to break this dude's grip, and I see that, you know, the owner's looking at me in my eyes pleadingly at this point. So I know he's either starting to see stars, or this is, you know, he's terrified that this is going to get bad. So I'm like, alright, well, fuck it. So I start to try and work into a sleeper. And after a point, I'm like, fuck it. So I go into a full-on chokehold and about, you know, push the dude's jaw through his throat. Because I'm like, you're not going to defend against this. So I just fucking really cranked into his fucking throat. And he let go. You know? And then he, you know, grabbed my arm, of course, and he's trying to pry my arm off and realizes that ain't fucking happening. Whatever adrenaline that he might have going through his system, it's being diluted by the booze. I am not drunk. And I am full on raging because I saw my dude on the ground tonight. And that doesn't happen in my reality. So I need to make sure that somebody suffers. So, you know, I'm just holding him, and, you know, he is now pacified, so I let up a bit. And he's like, dude, let me go. And I'm like, fuck you. And then this chick starts screaming that he's a cop. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to have his ass arrested. It's convenient for him. He's familiar with the system. And that was when shit kind of started to really calm down. And they just kind of fucking left. I'm not sure if charges were pressed, but I believe they were. Because fuck them, you know, they were shitheads. But yeah, I mean, Dennis, you know, like, essentially what happened was, he pushed them all outside. One of the dudes went out first and, like, jumped around the door. Everybody else went out kind of past him, and then when Dennis came out, he just fucking clocked him. Just, Dennis is a tall dude, and this guy was not, so it was like a, you know, type of thing, and it just, the surprise of it just shocked Dennis, and he just went on his butt. You know what I mean? It was just, he just hit the sweetest spot in the world, just on the fly. And yeah, and I really rushed into that fight. It wasn't brave. It wasn't smart. It was dumb. But I had a duty to do it. So, you know, I don't feel that Kyle being there was brave or smart. It was dumb. But, for whatever reason, Kyle felt that he had a duty to be there. You know, my beliefs on the subject be damned. He felt he had a duty. And, you know, I said it's not brave or smart to join the armed forces either. I did that for effect. Those people feel that they have a duty to protect their country. And I imagine many of them will look at you and go, yeah, it isn't brave or smart. It's dumb. But I had a duty to do it, and here I am. And I wouldn't pass it up for the world, many of them would most likely say. But many of them that I don't have. But And it's not as if to say there is no bravery. There are bravery. There's bravery, certainly, when you're in. Yeah. There's... Soldiers have all manner of bravery. Recruits are dumb. You know what I mean? If you're walking into the fight, you're dumb. If you get there and you're like, well, I understand what the cost is, so I'm here, that's brave. You know, people that go in for a second term, then it's brave. That, you know, like, you're there already. You know what it's like. If you're like, shit, I gotta go back, it's my duty. That's when you hit brave. Or that's when you hit, like, maximum stupid. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, that's where you're hitting bravery levels. You know what I mean? Like that. But, you know, it wasn't brave or smart what he did. It was dumb. But he felt he had a duty to do it. And I think it was... he was amazingly disciplined. Somebody in the comments said that he fired 8 shots. One shot. He was being brought up for one count of a bullet going wide. So 7 out of 8 found their mark. That's amazingly accurate. And for him to essentially shoot at 3 people, be attacked by like 4 people, you know, and one of them brandished a weapon at him, and then for him to go through all of that within the span of 10, 15 seconds, and then for somebody else to then put their hands up and, you know, start backing up, for him to then have the discipline to not just be like, fuck you, and just, you know what I mean? He's amazingly disciplined. The kid is well trained. Like, there is absolutely no doubt Kyle Rittenhouse is well trained. So, you know, there's that going for him, I think. And, you know, he's a lifeguard, so he has EMT training, and he felt that he could do some good. He felt he had a duty to go and do some good. Do I think it was smart or brave? No, I think it was dumb. But I understand. Oh my God, that's a Chris Rock bit. Well, it's a totally different Chris Rock bit, but I wouldn't do it, but I understand. Like, I'm not going to fly to Kenosha to go and protect Kenosha. You know what I mean? But like I said, my dude called me. And he said, hey, I need you. And I was there. If my dude still had that bar, and he sold it, but if my dude still had that bar, and if a riot was coming his direction, and he called me and said, hey, I need you, I would be there. He's my dude. I gave him my word. I have duty to that man. I would get there and be like, this is dumb. And if somebody said, oh no, you're really brave coming to help, I'd say, no, I'm really dumb. But I'd be there for my dude because... So, you know, we all have our different codes of honor, and we all have our different things that we will and will not stand for, you know. But if you want to get down to the cold, you know, pragmatism of it, it's dumb. Everybody fighting is just dumb. It's just dumb. Stop fighting. How about that? I've said that before. I think I said that in another video a long time ago. I think I said, I think everybody should try and not commit crimes for like a week. Just try it for a week and see how you like it. That was the thing I said at one point, and nobody took me up on it. It has yet to happen, you know. Well, everybody hasn't taken me up on it yet, you know. It has yet to happen, but I'm still hopeful that maybe some week we can square away and everybody can just Stop getting into fights. Like, that'd be awesome.